It is now 6 o'clock. I just heard from Miss Andrews. It is now 6 o'clock. We're about to start this meeting of June the 19th of the Sumner County Board of Education. And before we do, I'm going to stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to our country's flag. And if you would like to join me, please feel free to do so. Would you join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's see, we got an agenda on here somewhere. There it is. All right, first item on the agenda is adoption of regular agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Goodness gracious. Motion's running everywhere. We'll give that to Mr. Daniels and second by Mr. Cordell. Any discussion? I don't even know who did it. Somebody over there. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have an agenda. Adoption now, next item on the agenda is adoption of consent agenda. Do I have a motion? Motion approved by Mr. Wise, second by Ms. Bachman. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have a consent agenda. Next item on the agenda is consideration of minutes of discussion interaction regarding minutes of the May 22nd, 2018 regular meeting. Do I have a motion on that? Motion by Mr. Wise, second by Mr. Daniels. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is discussion interaction regarding the minutes of the June 5th special call meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Hawkins, second by Ms. Hayes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is always my fun part. I really enjoy this. Recognition of Hannah Brown, Girl Scouts Gold Award winner. Miss Andrews, I believe you had that on the agenda.
Tonight, I'm really excited to get to recognize Hannah. I've known her and her family for many years, and she is an outstanding young lady. So it's an honor to get to recognize her. Hannah, would you like to come join me? I won't make you stand up there all by yourself. This is Hannah Brown. She is the daughter of Jill and Steve Brown, the big sister to Hadley Brown. Hadley can't be with us because she's at church camp right now, and I love her too. Hannah will be a junior this coming year at Beach High School, and she has recently received the Girl Scout Gold Award. The Gold Award is similar to the Boy Scout Eagle Scout Award. Only 5% of Girl Scouts earn the Gold Award. It takes about 80 hours to complete, and the significance of it is, the purpose behind it is to create a project that has a lasting difference in the local community, region, or beyond, puts the Girl Scout Promise and Law into action, includes provisions to ensure sustainability, identifies national and global links to the girls' selected issue, and inspires others. Hannah joined Girl Scout Troop 2382 in her second grade year at Madison Creek, and decided early that she wanted to earn the Gold Award. That did not surprise me at all. Hannah's a go-getter. I actually met Hannah her second year. I think that's right. My girls were also in the same Girl Scout troop, so we got to spend a couple of years with them and watching Hannah grow. It was during Hannah's school years that one of her teachers mentioned the trouble facing the honeybees, and that sparked Hannah's interest and desire to do her part to help the bees. She decided to create a sustainable take action project to educate her community on the decline of the honeybees. She handed out flyers with wildflower packets in her community, planted a memorial garden at Hunter Middle School, and helped with the North Tennessee Beekeepers Association booth at the Sumner County Fair, and wrote an extensive blog to provide relevant and timely information on the importance of honeybees, particularly to our food sources. She also, has honeybees at her house. Correct. How many honeybees do you have? A couple thousand honeybees. In addition to several other animals and so forth. She's also active in our 4-H program. Hannah right now is the June 4-H June Dairy Month chairman for Sumner County. And then she'll be starting a new role as the Health, Fitness, and Nutrition Ambassador in the upcoming year. She was recently on Good Morning Portland. If you watched that show last week, was that correct? Yes. She had a wonderful time there. She also is a member of Beta, and she also swims. She currently holds 5 individual school records and 1 relay record for the swim team, and swam at the state meet in her freshman and sophomore year. Hannah Brown is an exceptional student, an exceptional citizen, and I'm proud to recognize her tonight as a wonderful young lady, but also as a fantastic example of Sumner County and a great representative of Sumner County schools.
Great job. Have you ever been stung?
I got stung once on the leg.
Just once? All right, that's remarkable. Wow.
Thank you. Just a minute. Thank you, Ms. Andrews. Do we have any comments by the board? Ms. Bachman?
Yes, I am so proud of you. That is totally an amazing accomplishment that you've done. I know my son was involved with the Eagle Scouts and that kind of thing, and my daughter didn't get quite to your level at the Girl Scouts, but that's an amazing program, and so very proud of you. I have one question though. Do you have honey?
Our honeybees actually recently they absconded from the hive, so that means that they swarmed and they left.
Okay.
So we never got a chance to harvest any of the honey.
Okay.
But we are going to get more honeybees, and hopefully we'll have honey then.
Okay, that would be awesome because I love fresh honey and my grandkids love it too. So I thought I would just check to see if you had any available, but I'm sure we'll keep it. You keep us all posted, okay? Again, thank you so much for what you've done. Great accomplishment. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Ms. Bachman. Any other comments? Seeing none, we're moving right along. I do have one quick comment. It's just, so when they move out of the nest, does that mean somebody made them a better offer, or?
I guess so.
Yeah, somebody had a better hive for him, I guess, you know. Yeah, we got an elevator over here. She didn't have an elevator. So. That's fantastic. We thank you for what you're doing. You're an epitome of a great student, and we really appreciate you. We are at item number F, matters involving council. I'm glad we have none of that. And next on the agenda is reports from the director, Dr. Phillips.
The budget passed the commission last evening, so we appreciate that, and that gives us an opportunity to go ahead and get started at the beginning of the fiscal year with the changes, and so we're happy that that occurred, and appreciate your support and the commission support.
Question for Dr. Phillips.
Mr. Hawkins.
Thank you, Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Phillips, I believe it's my understanding that the 5 SROs that were proposed to be added in the spring, those were included in the budget. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then there's still the opening for either 13, 14, or 15 other potential SROs in the future if we wanted to put one
Yeah, I
per
think
school?
it's 15, but I need to
15?
check.
Okay.
But those 5, and I'm not sure where, that's included in the sheriff's budget, so I'm not sure really where he's at with the hiring process. I know training and that sort of thing will take place. There are classes they have to go to be certified as SROs, so that's all handled in the sheriff's world. But the last time I asked him, he was hoping that whole process was completed by the time school started.
In terms of allocating the 5 additional SROs that are being trained this summer, have we already identified the schools where those will be placed?
We don't identify them, the sheriff does.
Sheriff does that, okay.
So
And-
he'll tell us, and we'll get them with the school principals prior to them showing up on campus. It's
Thank you
typically
very
how it
much.
happens.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. Any other comment? Seeing none, moving on to new business. Discussion and interaction regarding the 2018-19 board meeting calendar. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Daniels, second by Ms. Andrews. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Moving on to unfinished business, discussion and interaction regarding amendments of the general purpose budget. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Cordell and second by Ms. Hayes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Seeing none, motion carries. Discussion and interaction regarding amendments of the federal budget. Item 2. Motion approved by Mr. Wise. Second by, who's second? Mr. Cordell. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Seeing none, motion carries. Last item on the, well, next to some of the, almost the last item, discussion of study session items.
I know we'll have at least a policy or two, right, JJ?
Well, just a reminder to everybody, our next study session will be August. We just adopted the board calendar with no July study session. We've traditionally not had a study session in July because the 4th of July holiday and the summer kind of gets tricky. So our next study session will be August. We will be doing our continuing journey through the policy manual. We will also have a couple of policies that we've been talking about internally that we need to change to reflect some changes in state law, and we'll be bringing those to you then.
And as always, if you have something you want to add to it, just get in touch with JJ or Dr. Phillips, and they'll be glad to put it on there for you. Communication from the board is next, and I think we'll start with Ms. Hayes. Ms. Hayes?
Thank you, Chairman Brewer. As Dr. Phillips mentioned, the County Commission approved our budget last night. I have great appreciation for the months and months and months of work that it takes to even put this together. And then looking at the county, a week ago I went to the committee meetings for education and budget, and they diligently work and discuss. And then last night, our county commissioners, I'm very, very grateful for the support that they give us in education and the funding of our budget. The behind-the-scenes numbers people who do this, and this is the summary. This isn't even the big Bible book of budget. Amanda, your team, you guys are phenomenal. I mean, we got sharp heads of departments and personnel in the central office, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hayes. Ms. Bachman?
I will echo Ms. Hayes' comments. I'm very proud of all you do in the commission. We are so glad of the support that we received them in. We could not manage to do what we needed to do without their support. I just have a couple comments. Amanda and I were able to be at the nutrition banquet, the awards banquet, and it was a long evening, but it was very nice, and it was nice to see our cafeteria workers praised for what they do. Because all the others, just like the transportation to get the kids to school, we get there and they're in a safe and clean environment. They are fed, and that enables them to learn. So it takes all of it. So it's very appreciative of the entire team that makes our system work. The only thing is, I went by Whitten today, and very glad to start seeing the walls going up. They've made amazing progress, and I hope the weather holds out so that we can get it dried in before the bad winter comes in. But it was very, very, very good to see how the progress is going on that. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bachman. Ms. Andrews?
Yeah, I just want to thank Mr. Johnson. I had made a request, and I'm just letting y'all know that it's there for where it says now discussion of study session items. If you click on that, it will now go and tell us what where we're at in the policy review, instead of waiting until the study session and it being posted on that agenda. I feel like that gives us a little bit more time to look then at those policies and know if we need to bring something up on the study session. So those are going to be on our regular agenda now, to give us just a little bit more time to look through those.
Thank you, Ms. Andrews. Mr. Cordell?
No, sir. Mr. Hawkins? I want to thank Mr. Johnson and Mr. Brown. Over the past 20 months, on 14 of those 20 months, I've spoken with you gentlemen about the work that you're doing and have been doing to increase our accessibility and transparency and visibility. And our camera systems and online systems are now up and are there for digital access to the public. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, gentlemen. That took a lot of hard work and incremental funding along the way. Thank you. In terms of our priorities of safe and effective schooling, at the school law training this past week that was attended by Ms. Andrews and Mr. Wise and Mr. Gregory, I learned that one of the exceptions to the open records law is that for our individual school safety plans. And we have customized safety plans for every one of our 49 schools. Those are not public documents. We've had some people in the past in the public who were demanding to see them and to evaluate them. Those are not public documents. Those are developed carefully by local law enforcement, including both sheriffs and police departments. And I want to emphasize and appreciate that we are maintaining those as close to the vest, confidential records on a need-to-know basis for our administrators and for our law enforcement partners. Finally, in terms of effective schools, I've reviewed the new TN Ready memo that came out this past week from the Department of Education. It seems to be moving a bit more in a manageable way if they can get the partners on in place for the technology and the platforms for the online. We have pencil tests for the elementary, pencil tests for the middle schools. We've taken English 3 and chemistry off of the online tests. I'm hoping that we can continue to monitor that. Johnson City Schools over in East Tennessee put out a resolution encouraging the Department of Education to continue to focus on trying to make sure that TN Ready is administered in a way that makes sense. We have, as individual board members, all spoken to our legislators about the same concerns, and I would encourage us as a board to continue to be attentive to that and to do what we can to make sure that when we have TN Ready testing preparation, that is done in a way that contributes to our school classroom instead of taking away from the classroom experience and the teacher experience. So that seems to be a step forward, but it's something I'd like us to keep watching. I also want to thank the entire team for an excellent school year, and I want to welcome Mr. Langford on board here at your second meeting with the board after attending the study session earlier this week. We are glad to have you, but we're glad to have all of the executive team and all of the central office team supporting and being available for the many questions that we as board members have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Hawkins. Mr. Daniels?
I just want to echo what my fellow board members said. Special thanks to our commission for approving our budget, to staff for all the hard work they put into it. I remember when I started it, it was not an easy process, and it seems like staff's helped improve that every year. We've been able to start meeting some of the needs and some of the goals that we've set over time, and as we continue to make progress, making this the best county in the state of Tennessee. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels. Mr. Wise?
No comment.
Ms. Brown?
First time, no comment.
Mr. Gregory?
Just one, Mr. Chairman, directed to Dr. Phillips and Mr. Langford on the TN Ready. Did I understand that correctly, that math will be given on high school math online. That's I was going to mention this tonight, hopefully before they came out with something. That's the one complaint I have had more and more and more of. And you have been in that position recently. The fact that, and it's always the really outstanding students who have mentioned this. It's not like some of us may have been in school, but it's really the outstanding students. They're saying that it's impossible to do well in the math portion the way the questions and multiple answers are. Did you have this concern last year, past school year, at your school?
Mr. Gregory, we had some problems. We didn't really, once we got the test started, we didn't really have any trouble with the kids being able to answer the questions. Our problems were generally more geared that you'd log in and the system would freeze and you have to restart it. It was really.
I heard that too.
Yeah, I mean, our problems were mostly not with our Sumner County servers, but with whatever was going
correct.
on
I know that.
at the state. So, but I mean, I could say once we got on, we really didn't have any trouble. Our kids seemed to do okay with the test. It was just that it was that preliminary process of getting logged in that was the problem.
Well, I have heard that particular thing more, and I know Dr. Phillips was very concerned about when we'd stop and restart and different times of the day, and he sure didn't, talking about Dr. Phillips, he did not want math to be in the afternoon. And I agree. That's not a good situation at all. Timing is very important in testing. That's my thing, and give you a good opportunity to speak with the state.
It's an opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are you done? Okay, thank you, Mr. Gregory. Ms. Brown? No comment. Well, that brings it back to me. The director's evaluation is laid on your desk in front of you. Please don't do like I have done just about every year. Take it home and forget about it and forget to bring it back, and they have to whoop me with a wet noodle to get me to bring it back. I turned mine in tonight. Also, there's a card going around from Miss Bradley. It's at Miss Andrews' desk right now. She sent us a real nice note, and so it's going around. And so other than that, we're adjourned.
Do I get